So we are going to discuss about the nature, scope, and importance of statistics to economics. So statistics is a branch of mathematics, okay, which is having a wide range of application. Got it? As it is a branch of mathematics having a wide range of wide range of applications. Even it has the application in economics too. Okay, economics lo kuda dinki application untundandi. Got it? So ఇది అనేది okay, this importance of statistics to the economics అనేది it was mainly focused from 19th century. Mainly focused from 19th century. Okay, but in 1690 itself, okay, but in 1690 itself, in a work, Political Arithmetic, it is a book written by Sir William in 1690, a book named Political Arithmetic written by Sir William. In that book itself, he has mentioned about the importance or the application of statistics to the economics. But mainly the importance of statistics to the economics was focused in the 19th century by J.S. Mill, Marshall, Jevons, and Keynes. So these are the people who has felt the importance of statistics to the economics. Once again, I am repeating, in the 19th century, it was greatly noticed the importance of statistics to the economics. Okay, statistics ki economics kuna relationship, importance enti anedi chepparu. Okay, but before the 19th century itself, that is in the year 1690, that is in the year 1690, in a book, Political Arithmetic, written by the Sir William, he has commented the importance of statistics to the economics. But in the 19th century, J.S. Mill, Marshall, Jevons, and Keynes has been greatly focused the importance of statistics to the economics. Okay, so how the statistics helps the economics. So remember one thing. So statistics helps us in understanding the economic problems. So statistics helps us in understanding economic problems, and to develop a formula for economic development. So remember, so it's going to help us in understanding the economic problem and to develop a formula for economic development. That means what is the problem? Okay, what is the problem? That we are going to understand with the help of statistics. Okay, economic problem ni statistics help toti ardham cheskuntam. After that, we are going to develop a formula. After understanding the problem, we are going to develop a formula to overcome the problem such that there is going to be an economic development. Okay, economic development. Got it, my dears? So the example for this, okay, how we are going to understand the economic problem and how we are going to develop an economic strategy. So simply see, for example, let us take the economic problems like economic problems like poverty, unemployment, rise in prices. Recently, our petrol prices were hiked, right? Rise in prices, volume of trade, output of the manufacture, mining, and agriculture. Let us take these are the main important problems of India. Okay, how we are going to solve with the statistics. See, let us take the poverty, unemployment, rise in prices, volume of trade, output of manufacture, mining, and agriculture. You are going to first collect the data of these things. Okay, వీటికి సంబంధించిన డేటాని కలెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. Okay, after collecting the data, you are going to analyze the data. How they are increasing, how they are decreasing, at what pace they are increasing, at what pace they are decreasing. ఎలా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతున్నాయి, ఎలా డిక్రీజ్ అవుతున్నాయి, ఎంత ఫాస్ట్ గా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతున్నాయి, ఎంత ఫాస్ట్ గా డిక్రీజ్ అవుతున్నాయి, వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. ఓకే, how you will know by collecting the data and by analyzing that data. Based on that analysis, you are going to develop an economic development policy. Economic development policy. Got it? By that, you are going to develop an economic development policy. Got it? So this is the way you are going to use the statistics for the economics. So as the statistics is having a wide range of application in the economics, recently there has been an evolution of a recent science or a branch called as econometrics. Econometrics is nothing but the application of statistics to the economics is called as econometrics. So application of statistics to the economics is called as econometrics. So next, coming to the next topic, the collection of data. Collection of data. So in the statistics, the collection of data plays a very important crucial role, because the statistics itself is nothing but it is a first laid foundation for the statistics is the data. Got it? So in data, there are two types of data. So one is primary data and another one is secondary data. One is primary data, one is secondary data. So what is this primary data? The primary data is the data which is collected from the research. The person who is doing the research, that is the researcher or the analyst himself. Okay, that is who is doing the analysis. If you collect the data from himself or from the person who has done the research. Okay, first suppose, who is the best example of the primary data is a person who takes the collection, who is going to go to the house and who is going to collect the population census. That is, a census is nothing but the primary data. The best example of the primary data is the census. Okay, we are having the population census. The final census was the 2011 census, and the new census are going to be taken place in this year, that is the 2021. Actually, if there is no pandemic, if there is no corona pandemic, this year should be the new census should be collected. But because of the pandemic, there is a question mark of collecting the data. So such type of data is called as the primary data. Okay, the data which is being collected from the researcher or the analyst himself is called as the primary data. Then what is the secondary data? The secondary data is nothing but if you collect the data from already existed resources like any of the reports, okay, then that is called as the secondary data. Okay, there are several government organizations. Okay, there are several government organizations like economic survey is their budget. Okay, there are many surveys. Okay, many organizations are going to do the research and they are going to collect the data. And if you are picking the data from that published document, okay, published report, if you are collecting the data from the published document or the published report, such a data is called as secondary data. That is, if you collect the data from already existed sources. If you collect the data from the already existed sources, then it is called as then it is called as secondary data. Got it? So next, coming to what are the requirements for the collection of data? So what are the requirements? What are the requirements for collection of data? What are the requirements for the collection of data? So the first requirement for the collection of data is objective of scope of data collection. That is nothing but how far you can collect the data. Okay, the objective of the scope for the first thing is for what purpose. Okay, for what purpose you are going to collect the data and from where you are going to collect the data. Got it? The objective of scope of data collection is nothing but what is the objective of your data collection. Okay, why you are collecting the data and what is the purpose of collecting the data. Okay, the next one is method of data collection. That is nothing but how you are going to collect the data, in what way you are going to collect the data. Here, what is the purpose of collecting the data? The first point refers to what is the purpose of collecting the data. Okay, the second is how you are going to collect the data, in what way you are going to collect the data. మీరు డేటాని ఎలా కలెక్ట్ చేస్తారు? ఫస్ట్ వన్ వచ్చేసి డేటా ఎందుకు కలెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు, సెకండ్ వచ్చేసి why you are collecting data, sorry, in what way, that is మీరు డేటాని ఎలా కలెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఏ మెథడ్ తో డేటాని కలెక్షన్ చేస్తున్నారు. Okay, the next one is the source of information. So మీరు కలెక్ట్ చేసిన డేటాకి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎక్కడ నుండి వస్తుంది. Okay, what is the source of information? For example, if you want to collect the data of the tribals, okay, tribals గురించి రీసెర్చ్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటున్నారు, వాళ్ళ డేటా కలెక్ట్ చేయాలి అని అనుకుంటున్నారు, మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు? సిటీలో కలెక్ట్ చేస్తారా? లేదు, ఫారెస్ట్ లకు వెళ్ళి కలెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద సోర్స్ వేర్ ద పీపుల్ ఆర్ లివింగ్, where the tribal people are living. So from where you are going to collect the information. The fourth one is degree of accuracy required for the final result. So remember one thing, degree of accuracy, at what range we want the accuracy. Accuracy means exactness. Okay, so to publish the final result, what range of accuracy is important, that should be kept in mind. Okay, మన ఫైనల్ రిజల్ట్ ని పబ్లిష్ చేయడానికి ఎంత వరకు ఎంత accuracy కావాలి అనేది కూడా బ్రెయిన్ లో పెట్టుకోవాలి మనం డేటా కలెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు. Got it? So what are the requirements for the collection of data? The first one is the objective of scope of data collection. Next one is method of data collection. Next is source of information. The fourth one is degree of accuracy required for the final result. Once again I am repeating, what are the requirements for the collection of data? Objective of scope of data collection, method of data collection, source of information, degree of accuracy required for the final result. Got it? What are the requirements for the collection of data? The objective of scope of data collection, method of data collection, source of information, degree of accuracy required for the final result. Got it? The next, coming to the next, measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency. Got it? The next one is measure of central tendency. So what is this central tendency? What is the measure of central tendency? It's nothing but, see, the central tendency, please make a note of it. The central tendency is a descriptive summary of a data sheet through the single value, through a single value that reflects the center of the data distribution. My dears, there is nothing hard. Okay, it is nothing but the central tendency is nothing but, simply speaking, it is average. Okay, the middle value. Okay, the middle value is nothing but, it is nothing but the central tendency. Okay, the central tendency is nothing but a descriptive summary of a data sheet. Okay, the descriptive summary of a data sheet through a single value that reflects the center of the data distribution. Okay, after collecting a large number of data, okay, we are going to collect the large number of data. That is, from the data 1, data 2. For example, the best example is your class marks. One is going to get the 10, one is going to get the 100. One is going to get the 60, one is going to get the 75, 71, 73, that might be 35, right? In a class of 120, I'm going to prepare your total mark sheet. That is nothing but the data sheet. After that, I'm going to find out your class performance by taking the average. That is the middle number. Okay, that is the middle number. That is nothing but the central tendency. Based on that middle number, I'm going to say your class performance. That is nothing but the central tendency. Okay, central tendency. Got it? So how you are going to calculate the central tendency? How you are going to calculate the central tendency? You are having the two types of averages, my dear. One is the mathematical average. One is the mathematical average. One is the mathematical average. And another one is the positional average. One is the mathematical average. Other one is the positional average. The mathematical averages are nothing but arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and the harmonic mean. See, the arithmetic mean is a widely used method to calculate the average. Okay, the geometric mean is used for data which is very, very large. Okay, for very large, we are going to use the geometric mean. The harmonic mean is used for a specific things like to calculate the speed, time, price, okay, and ratios, etc. Got it? Basically, we widely use the arithmetic mean method, whereas the geometric mean method is used to calculate the very large data. Got it? Whereas harmonic mean is used for a specific things like to calculate the speed, time, price, ratio, and etc. Then what is the positional average? The positional average is nothing but we are having the two methods to calculate the position average. One is median and another one is a mode. One is a median and the another one is a mode. Okay, this is the thing. And in the portion, as per the TS government's portion, we are only having the arithmetic mean. These two, the geometric mean and the harmonic mean, has been deleted from the portion. Thank you. Tomorrow we will continue the remaining class.